Civilization, an odyssey spanning millennia, marked by the rise and fall of empires, the birth of art and science, and the echoes of forgotten voices. But what compels the march of civilization through the corridors of time? To unlock the enigmatic tapestry of human history, we embark on a journey guided by profound insight of Arnold J. Toynbee, a luminary whose scholarly legacy continues to illuminate the path of humanity. Arnold Joseph Toynbee, scion of a lineage steeped in intellectual prowess, embarked on a quest of unparalleled magnitude to decipher the codes of civilization. His opus magnum, A Study of History, emerged as a towering monument in the annals of scholarship, offering a panoramic vista of human endeavor. Within the sprawling narrative of his magnum opus, Toynbee introduced a revolutionary paradigm, civilization. Within the sprawling narrative of his magnum opus, Toynbee introduced a revolutionary paradigm, civilization, as the fundamental building blocks of historical analysis. With meticulous precision, he unraveled the tapestry of human experience, weaving together threads from history, anthropology, sociology, and comparative religion to unveil the underlying pattern of human destiny. Toynbee's audacious vision transcended the confines of conventional historiography, elevating civilization as dynamic entities shaped by the interplay of culture, society, and spirituality. His concept of challenge and response provided a lens through which to understand the resilience and adaptability of civilization in the face of adversity. At the heart of Toynbee's tapestry lie two foundational pillars: the cyclical nature of civilization and the concept of challenge and response. He posited that civilizations are not static entities, but rhythmic symphonies, waxing and waning in harmony with the tides of history. The concept of challenge and response unveiled the dynamic interplay between civilization and the myriad trials they encounter, showcasing humanity's indomitable spirit and capacity for innovation. The genesis of civilization marks the dawn of human ingenuity as nascent society navigate the crucible of times, propelled by the current of geography, technology, and culture. The growth of civilization heralds the zenith of human achievement, a golden age of enlightenment and prosperity, where art, science, and philosophy flourish. The growth of civilization heralds the zenith of human achievement. The growth of civilization heralds the zenith of human achievement, a golden age of enlightenment and prosperity, where art, science, and philosophy flourish amidst the splendor of urban centers and empires. As we traverse the annals of history, Arnold J. Toynbee's legacy stands as a beacon of enlightenment, illuminating the path of human civilization through the ages, from the dawn of antiquity to the modern era. The saga of humanity is a testament to our resilience, creativity, and enduring spirit, echoing across the tapestry of time.
Toynbee, in his book, A Study of History, defines breakdown as the end of a period of growth, rather than a complete dissolution. He identifies three fundamental weaknesses leading to breakdown, which are the mechanization of mimesis, the intractability of institutions, and idolatry, also known as the worship of ephemeral aspects. To explain these concepts, firstly, mechanization of mimesis leads to a loss of creative power, as people start imitating without proper thought. resulting in a losing of their creative spark to solve a problem. Secondly, institutions may regulate mimesis, but their collapse due to a refusal to embrace change and make different choices for a better future causes chaos when things go wrong. And the third one, idolizing the wrong things prevents creative responses from humans in dealing with new challenges, ultimately leading to civilizational breakdown. Although Toynbee did not live to see this, the collapse of the Soviet Union in the early 1990s is an illustration of a civilization failing to adapt with the changing of the world. And they all fell apart like a piece of leaf from a tree that used to be strong. Toynbee also mentions revolution, social injustices, and hubris as contributing elements to the breakdown of a civilization. In addition, Toynbee explains that the disintegration of civilizations revolves around the idea that they weaken and eventually fall apart due to internal problems and conflicts. He identifies three main weaknesses too, which are a lack of creative energy, a ruling minority using force to maintain power, and resulting resentment and fear among the majority. When these weaknesses persist, the majority, known as the proletariat, starts rebelling against the ruling class, leading to two types of conflict: vertical conflict within different groups in society and horizontal conflict between different classes or groups. As the conflict continues, people behavior changes, leading to further division and hostility. Eventually, cooperation breaks down entirely and society falls into a chaos. To conclude, Toynbee theory explains that civilizations can either work to address their problems and potentially recover, or give up and collapse entirely. Historical examples: French Revolution illustrate how societies can break down when their ruling class fails to address internal issues effectively.
Known as Abdurrahman bin Muhammad ibn Khaldun, was from South Arabian stock, who came to Spain in the early years of the Arab conquest. Khaldun's family immigrated to Spain in the early years of Muslim conquest and settled in a small city called Carmona, located within the significant triangle that is surrounded by Cordoba, Sevilla, and Granada, which is a historical location in Spanish Muslim history. He then successfully held high administrative and political posts under the Umayyad dynasty. In 1375, craving solitude from the exhausting business of politics, Ibn Khaldun took the most momentous step of his life and wrote his massive masterpiece, the Muqaddimah, which is known as Introduction to History. Ibn Khaldun outlined the theoretical underpinnings of humanities in Muqaddimah and focused on the humanities' historical development in Islamic culture from the 7th to the 15th centuries. He came to the conclusion that civilizations are living things that go through cyclical stages of birth, growth, maturity, decline, and eventually death, owing to universal causes. Scholars from the human sciences have used his book, which is Al-Muqaddimah, as raw material in developing this pattern of social organization in the 20th century and even in the 21st century to serve as a model for the humanities. The one cycle which fascinated Ibn Khaldun the most was the cycle of rise and fall of the state. He distinguishes 5 stages in which a state can go through the whole cycle within the span of 3 or 4 generations of rulers. The 5 stages of civilization are as such, starting off with the conquest phase. Second is the phase of eliminating rivals. Third, the phase to collect all the symbols of glory and wealth. Moving on to the phase to follow in the footsteps of the predecessors. And lastly, the spree phase. During the first phase, which is the conquest phase, a ruler will embrace his subordinates as well as possible. He will feel the suffering felt by his subordinates. When there is stolen goods, it will be divided fairly among his subordinates. In this phase, a ruler will become a role model for his nation. The second phase is the phase of eliminating rivals. In this phase, the ruler will try to finish off rivals who have the potential to seize power, because one of the natural characteristics of the ruler is not wanting to have rivals in his power. So to achieve this monopolization of power, he would destroy those who share power with him, and even purchase the support of bureaucrats and mercenaries who are loyal to him. In addition to the paid army and administrative bureaucracy, a group of learned advisors becomes instrumental in preserving the state according to the ruler's wishes. Moving on is the phase to collect all the symbols of glory and wealth. And this can happen either by acquiring new lands, sending messengers to various regions, and even building magnificent buildings and so on. The rulers are powerful, independent, and creative. They sometimes use their own authority to satisfy their personal needs. In fact, there is economic prosperity for everyone. He reorganizes the finances of the state to increase their own personal income. He then spends lavishly on public works and on the beautification of his cities. The atmosphere here is one of leisure and self-indulgence. All men enjoy the comforts and pleasures of the world. The fourth phase is the phase to follow in the footsteps of their predecessors. At this time, the ruler will carry out the strategies and steps that have been carried out by their predecessors. They follow their steps so carefully. Luxuries and comforts have become a habit. Rulers and citizens are confident that they will last forever, and they may indeed last for quite some time, as the length of this period depends upon the power and the solidity of the achievements of the founders of the state. However, during this stage, the state is already starting to decline and to disintegrate. Now, the last phase, which is the spree phase. In this phase, the rulers no longer care about the future of the state. The rulers spend their time immersed in lust and pleasure. At this time, the country will age, and in fact be attacked by enemies and the diseases. As the income of the state declines, it ultimately becomes impossible for the ruler to support his new followers. The habits of comfort and luxury have generated physical weakness. The population became effeminated. The entire population, physically weak and living in large crowded cities with environmental problems, become subject to disease and plague. The state now begins to disintegrate until it finally disappears. Ibn Khaldun explained that the loser will see that the winner who has defeated him has perfection and good qualities that make him win, as if he felt that his defeat was because he did not have the traits that the winner had. This is especially apparent for the Ottoman Empire, for which when they lost in World War I. With the theory proposed by Ibn Khaldun, we can see that Turkey, which was a religious state, whose leaders held leadership responsibilities both in state administration and religious affairs, eventually turned into a secular state, separating religious leadership and state leadership. Then, Turkey turned into a democratic republic that moves toward secularism. This secular democratic system was used by the industrial countries in the West, which defeated the Ottoman Empire in the First World War. And so, after the Ottoman Empire lost, they chose to restore the sovereignty by following the footsteps of their conquerors. One of the things they did was to change the state system from what was previously an authoritarian kingdom that combined political and religious leadership into a republic that separated political leadership and the leadership in religion. This new system was adopted by Turkey to survive and continue its civilization in modern times.
Ibn Khaldun was one of the brilliant Islamic scholars in 40th century. Ibn Khaldun emphasized the theory of Asabiyya in his concept of Ilm al-Umran, or science of society and civilization, in defining the rise and fall of civilization and dynasty. Let's get started. What is the meaning of Asabiyya? From its Arabic root, Asaba means bind. The word Asabiyya itself is a product of an artificial infinitive noun, or in Arabic we call it Masdar Sonai. Also emerged from word Osba, means group of people joined together for the same goal, and union and community. And from word Isaba, means headband or turban. However, both words also bring the meaning of group of people. Therefore, Asabiyya, according to Ibn Khaldun, is a bond of cohesion among humans in a group which is forming into a community. How did Asabiyya happen in the first place? Difficulties in primitive life while living in a group or nation is a strong factor for Asabiyya as necessity in their life. Difficulties such as attack and danger from animals, natural disasters, and from other groups or nations force them to protect and stand up to each other. However, blood relationship also cause the spirit of asabiya arise among the group or nation. If they don't have a blood relationship, then a common view from alliance is also another factor to asabiya. Besides that, religion unites people in a group, then elevates their motivation to work together and willing to risk their life to reach their objective that they believe in. Therefore, if the nation ruled based on the ideology of secularism, for example, they will not form a strong nation because they clash and gradually create conflicts with those who preserve the truth of religion. Now let's focus on what is the key aspect of Ibn Khaldun's concept of Asabiya. Firstly, group solidarity. Asabiya is the manifestation of strong sense of loyalty, cohesion, or unity and mutual support among individuals in community or tribe. This solidarity emphasizes familial or tribal ties to include shared values, belief, and objective. Secondly, social cohesion. Asabiya encourage a cohesive society, means a people recognize and places their concern on their group's importance rather than themselves. Social cohesion is able to create a harmonious society and work together against internal and external pressures. And thirdly, leadership and authority. Every civilization and dynasty will not exist without a people who possess strong leadership and have respect and authority in the society. A leader is a person who resolve conflicts and control collective action and keep people in a group unity.